Hey guys, welcome to Pistons Talk Podcast post-game show. Hope you guys are having a great night. If you watch that game, you probably are. What a game. What a way to end it against the Miami Heat. Seems like every time we play these guys, like the games are so entertaining. They go down to the wire. I do apologize. I am about 20 or so minutes late. I was watching the post-game show with Kate. I'm sure you guys probably understand after that type of game that we just had. But let's get into this podcast. Let's get into these game notes. And as always, when I'm done talking about these game notes, we'll open up the show to questions, comments, overall thoughts. Drop a comment if you are watching live on YouTube right now. Maybe something you saw, something you want to talk about. That's what the YouTube live chat is for. But let's get into it. So the first thing I noticed in this first quarter was the fouls. Jalen Duren had two fouls. Isaiah Stewart had two fouls. Sar Thompson had two fouls in this first quarter. It seemed like a game where the officiating was going to be very, very tight. And I think for the first half that was true. The second half, the whistle kind of loosened up a little bit. Pistons had really just early foul trouble to start this game. The defense wasn't as locked in as I thought it could have been in the first quarter, and Miami really took advantage of backdoor cuts, getting into the basket and hitting their open 3-point shots. And they're a very good team of just spreading the floor. Bam Adebayo is a really good player. Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, those are just elite 3-point shooters. And I think Miami kind of caught the Pistons sleeping to start this first quarter. But the Pistons at least kept this game relatively close. They were only down 10 in the first quarter, which I thought they could have been down more, kind of given the way Miami was defending and that really letting the Detroit Pistons get comfortable in their offensive sets. But to end the first quarter, it was Miami 32, Pistons 22. The second quarter is when they woke up. And this has been a team at, in the beginning of the year where they really didn't, wake up until the second quarter. But I thought what was really key is JB made a rotation where it was Jalen Duren and four bench guys, Dennis Schroeder, Malik Beasley, Ron Holland. Those guys just really, got into this game, scrapped, rebounds, all that good stuff. Ron Holland and Duncan Robinson get into a little dust up. And after that dust up, the Pistons go on a 7-0 run. Maybe it's kind of the spark that they needed after kind of, just going back and forth with the Heat in this game. But you really have to tip your cap to Dennis Schroeder tonight. I thought he was excellent all night. The bench guys really came in and just out hustled the Heat, I thought, in the second quarter. Even though the Heat still had a 2-point lead at halftime, it kind of felt like the Pistons punched back to get back into this game. So it was 60-58 going into halftime. Coming out of halftime, the defense definitely stepped up. They had three turnovers, even though they had three defensive stops. But for a majority of the third quarter, Cade Cunningham started getting into his spots and he attacked when he could. Malik Beasley hit 5 3-pointers. Doing what he does is just being an elite 3-point shooter. And this game was, back and forth. Both the Pistons and the Heat were taking turns, either tying or getting the lead. So it was 93-88 to end the third. In the fourth quarter, man, I was nervous because anytime we play this team, it goes down to the wire. I thought Dennis Schroeder really helped them kind of calm down in the early fourth quarter. And Asar Thompson with big time baskets down the stretch. I thought Asar has been just so crucial, during this season with just the way he's been attacking, initiating the offense, crashing the glass, had a really clutch steal after there was a missed basket. But I thought the turnovers down the stretch were really going to hurt the Pistons. But Kate said, I got this. Hits a game winner with about, I think they inbounded the ball with 5 seconds, shoots it. There's like 0.6 second after the ball went in. The Heat try to have a prayer, and Tim Hardaway Jr. comes up with a huge block. Pistons get another win over the Miami Heat in just heartbreaking fashion, 116-113. This is also Cade Cunningham's ninth triple-double of the season. Maybe he can catch Grant Hill's record for a single season. I want to say it's either 12 or 13 triple doubles last time I looked for a single season. I could be wrong there. Don't quote me on that. But what a game for Cade and the Pistons to go in Miami. Upset then, even though Miami's struggling right now. Ever since the Jimmy Butler trade, that team has just not looked the same. I think that's 9 straight losses for the Miami Heat, and they're still a playing team. Kind of shows you how bad the East is. They're still in 10th place. They're still kind of um, in that seeding to make the play-in tournament and possibly upset. But man, what a game! I do want to get into comments and questions with you guys. I'm just still really shocked um just with the way this game went down because like if you watch the season when they play the Miami Heat, like every game has just gone down to the wire, and it's just like the in-season tournament game where JD gets a dunk and then Spoelstra calls a timeout and they win the game. Tim Hardaway Jr. went on like a nuclear just 3-pointer run when the Pistons beat the Heat the last time they played, and then Cade hits this game-winning 3. And someone had mentioned it, like, was that kind of payback for Bam Adebayo getting you last year? Because if you guys remember, during the 20th anniversary of the Going to Work Pistons theme night, Bam Adebayo had a game winner against Cade Cunningham of the Pistons, and Cade got Bam back for that. But really proud of this team, especially with the week that they had previous where they only went 1-2, obviously beating the Wizards once, losing to the Wizards, and then losing to the Oklahoma City Thunder. And you have 2 more games this week. You're going to Dallas. Obviously, Dallas is an injured team. They're a team that is just not healthy right now. I think it's a very winnable game. And then you get to go see the Pelicans again this Sunday at home on Hooper's birthday, a matinee game. So Pistons have a very good shot of ending this week 4-0. Just the way they're playing basketball right now, the opponents that they are facing, and I think if they go 4-0 and kind of give them an opportunity to possibly win 40 and 41 and to end March off strong. Obviously, March isn't over, but just the way that they're playing basketball right now, I think if you're a Piston fan, you're very, very happy with how they're playing basketball right now. I know I am, but let's get into comments and questions. I know I said I was going to do it, and then I ranted for a little bit. I do apologize. I'm just really hyped up for this win. Want to go to Dolly. He gets the first comment of this post-game show. I would love to see JB go small and play Tobias at the 5, start at the 4, and get the last possession stop. I don't like JD switching to end the game. I think schematically, I get what you're saying, Dolly. You'd love to see Tobias play some small ball 5, Sar at the 4. Me personally, I'd rather see a Sar play small ball 5 because I think defensively he can basically guard anyone. He's a good rebounder, good shot blocker. But I get what you're saying. You don't really want JD, out on an island with a player like a Tyler Hero. I think we were very fortunate that he didn't decide to shoot a 3 to try to tie the game. Obviously, they ran him off the 3-point line, kind of like double pump faked, got to 2 free throws. But I get what you're saying at the end of the day. You'd like to see, better defenders close the game out. Not to say that JD hasn't improved defensively this season. He has a lot. But in those situations, you probably don't want a shooting guard on a center. Not to say that JD, didn't do a good job. I thought he did a good job, after he did pick up his 3rd fouls. I thought, his hands were in a better guarding position where he wasn't getting himself beat or getting into, kind of like ticky-tack fouls. But overall, I get what you're saying. But at the end of the day, if you want to nitpick something, maybe that is something that you're looking at. You do want to nitpick with JB down the stretch with these rotations and these late game clock situations. Want to go to Johnny. And here I was saying Cade was not clutch. I take it all back. I don't remember you saying that, Johnny, but hey, man. The Pistons this season have made me, eat my words as well. I've been very consistent and well documented. You guys can go back and look. I did not think this team was going to win more than 32 games this season. I didn't see it. They have proved me wrong. Trajan Langdon didn't think the Pistons were going to be in this position. and he's building a team. Like what they're doing right now, the way JB has got these boys playing, they're playing at such a great and high level right now, and they keep shattering, I think, a lot of Pistons fans' expectations. I saw very few people come up here if they have a podcast or do YouTube shows like I do, say that the Pistons are going to win 40 games. The only person that I actually saw do that was Everything King, so you got to give him a shout out and his respect for that. He's the only YouTuber, only podcaster in the Detroit Pistons community that I actually saw that said that. So we got to give a shout to him. Got a comment from J Hart. Deuce Entertainment Gene was on full display tonight. Love this team. Yeah, I love the fact that he hit that game winner. He's hit a couple this year, but I think that was the first 3-point game winner that he hit. I do remember the Atlanta game where he hit a really tough layup against Dyson Daniels, but just love to see Cade in these crunch time moments, especially because the game was on nationally television too. And that was like Shift's God's next comment. They need to put us on more national TV and stop sleeping. They could get flexed. They really could. I think with the NBA, the way that they're headed, and obviously ratings are down with talk shows like Inside the NBA, and Pistons are a very fun basketball team. Don't let Shaquille O'Neal fool you saying that they're boring. They're not boring. The Pistons are a very fun, young, up and coming team. I even see people that aren't Pistons fans talking about the Detroit Pistons because they're fun to watch. They have a lot of personalities. Seems like every game that they're getting in some kind of scuffle or a dust up. They talk shit. They play defense. They like to run, dunk, slobs. Like they're a really fun team to watch, in my opinion. Got a comment from Win25. What a great win for the Pistons to win on nationally TV, and a big day for Cade with the triple-double and a game winner on TV. Yeah, I mean, the two televised games that the Pistons have had this season, one was against Philly, our only nationally televised game. We won that in dominating fashion. And tonight, you're going up against the Miami Heat, who are still a play-in team. They're on kind of this losing streak skid, but it is good. It is good for the Pistons to possibly get on nationally TV more because these networks want teams that get them ratings and make them revenue and make them money. And I think Cade is such a likable guy to market. He doesn't have any of that off the court drama, really mature for his age. And I think his game is very marketable at the end of the day. It wouldn't surprise me, next season if you see the Pistons with more than 2 nationally televised games next season because they're on the come up and ESPN's going to want a piece of that pie. They really are. Adam Perry, man, so much fun, so exciting. Yeah, that's the reason why I was a little late to this podcast tonight because I was just so hyped and just excited with this win. Got a comment from Thomas. Wanted that one more than some other wins. Nationally televised game, Cade triple-double, Cade game winner. I could see why you would want to, win this game more because it's on TV and a lot of eyes and a lot of casual fans are, looking at the Detroit Pistons because they want to watch basketball tonight, obviously. So I agree with you, Thomas. You want to win these nationally televised games to get more of the casual fan, paying a little bit more attention to the Detroit Pistons. Maybe, some casual fans that, watch that aren't Pistons fans, this casual NBA fans, I should say, are going to be tuning into more Pistons games, especially with the playoffs coming up. And everyone talking about Pistons Knicks and how that could be a really good series. So I'm really excited to, kind of see how they finish the season and what playoff seeding they possibly get. Got a comment from Hakeem the Dream. Cade is already a top 5 player in the league. Tell me 5 better this season. I think that's why you've been seeing Cade in MVP ladders from the NBA. You've been seeing Cade Cunningham and these all-NBA discussions. Not third team, second and first team. I've seen some people, mention him in second team all-NBA, like Nick Wright, Bill Simmons, big national guys that have media votes, right? And I think Cade has just taken that leap that the Pistons needed him to take for them to make the playoffs. I remember doing podcasts this summer, ESPN ranked him the 67th best player in the NBA. The Ringer had him in the 40s, 50s, if I do remember correctly. But Cade has taken that leap to top 10, top 5 conversations. I think you could have a conversation that he's the best point guard in the Eastern Conference. I know some people would probably debate Trae Young or Jalen Brunson, but I think Cade Cunningham is the best point guard in the East, in my opinion. That's just me, though. Maybe it's a little bias leaking out, but I think Cade has just had such a good season where that's why he's been an MVP, graphics and ladders by NBA.com. Not just me saying, like, NBA.com has had Cade Cunningham in MVP discussions. Got a comment from Locksmart. Jimmy Butler is big time smiling. He probably is, honestly. Like, the whole Jimmy Butler saga with the Heat, they wouldn't pay him. And he definitely looks like a person in the situation with Pat Riley where Jimmy was kind of the heart and soul of that team. And obviously, the Heat have some intriguing players, but like you lost 9 straight games. Jimmy goes to the Warriors, and the Warriors are, battling for the playoffs. I believe they were the 6th seed last time I looked, and they're playing good basketball. The Warriors were on a win streak when Jimmy went there. So I don't know what's going to happen with the Miami Heat. I really don't. It'll be interesting to see. I don't think they'll rebuild. I think they'll try to put themselves in positions to try to get another superstar. Don't know who that's going to be, but we're going to have to wait and see. Got a comment from Cheap Detroit Sports Meme. Shout out to you, man. Share the wealth. Go Pistons. I'm assuming that you bet on the Pistons again tonight and you won. So if that is the case, shout out to you, man. That's awesome. Shift God, did we move into the 5th seed yet? I think no, because the Pacers and the Bucks have the tiebreaker with the Pistons, meaning that they have more wins against the Pistons this year. So anytime you have the same amount of wins, let's take the Pacers for account. Like the Pacers have 39 wins, Pistons have 39 wins. Pacers would keep their seeding because they own the tiebreaker against the Detroit Pistons. And I think the last couple of games of the season, if you guys are looking ahead towards the schedule, they play the Bucks twice. So those games could have implications in terms of the 6th, 5th, and the 4th seed, depending on like what goes on. And if the Pacers, Bucks, and Pistons are all kind of neck and neck between 4th and 6th place. I mean, personally, I'd rather kind of keep the 6th seed. I don't really want to see the Pacers or the Bucks, but hey, that's just me. As a Piston fan, I want to see the Knicks really bad. I just think Pistons and Knicks would be a really fun first round matchup, and I think we match up very well with them and don't really know if Jalen Brunson is going to be 100% healthy, going into a first round matchup with the Pistons. Cheap Detroit sports meme saying, I'm not afraid of the Knicks or the Pacers. The Bucks scare me a little bit. I'm scared with the Bucks and the Pacers just because Miles Turner, Brook Lopez, stretch fives are kind of been the, Pistons kryptonite. Dame Lillard, playoff Dame is a real thing. Pascal Siakam with the Pacers. I've mentioned it before. Like, I love Tobias. I think Tobias has done a very good job this year, but Pascal Siakam is a big body that the Pistons have a lot of struggles with. I think the Pistons match up better with the Knicks than they do the Pacers or the Milwaukee Bucks. That's just my opinion. You guys might think, something else, and that's okay. We can agree to disagree, but I'm probably going to wrap up this podcast. I don't see any more, comments or questions with tonight's game, but just to wrap it up again, you guys, Pistons win their 2nd straight game on a buzzer beater tonight from Cade Cunningham, 116-113. Pistons. Cade notches his 9th triple-double of the season. Pistons play again. I want to say, I don't remember what day, but they play the Mavericks next in Dallas. Should be a good game. Cade's home state, so maybe Cade's going to put on a show for Dallas, Texas. But until next time, you guys, go Pistons. Have a good night. Peace.